Well, as speaking of Troy, he's joining us by phone from the trial of George Tiller. Isn't that a beautiful sounding phrase? The trial of George Tiller. Could anything sound better than that, Troy?
I don't think there's anything that would sound sweeter than that, except, ladies and gentlemen, we have now convicted Mr. Tiller, and he is being sentenced to life without possibility of parole.
Unfortunately, these charges won't give him that, but we'll settle for him just being dragged off in handcuffs and leg irons. Well, tell us, Troy, the trial actually started yesterday. Jury selection was last week, and the trial started yesterday. How are things going?
You know, I'm so glad that I sat through all the tedious, monotonous questioning of the jury, because it gave us a feel for who these people are. And they're just a cross-section of the community, good, working people, and I'm hoping that they're going to see through the piles and piles of baloney that the defense is putting on. I said there's more BS in there than a Kansas feedlot.
Yeah.
But Barry Disney, the prosecutor for the state, is putting on an excellent case, and they stripped down all of the hot-button issues in regards to abortion. They said, look, this is about a financial relationship, and that's illegal in Kansas. The state said that the baby has certain rights after the point of viability. Of course, we believe that they have rights all the time, but nonetheless, that's the state's position. And when a doctor wants to prescribe a late-term abortion post-viability, they've got to have an arm's-length transaction from the other physician, and that's not what happened in this case. Kristen Newhouse enjoyed office staff, office equipment. She used a car, phones, paper, printers, etc., to the point where she even admitted on the stand, well, I worked for Dr. Tiller, and then she had to retract that real quick because it didn't play into Tiller's case.
But the jury heard it.
The jury did hear it, and I'm confident that they're going to be able to cut through the baloney.
Good. I heard on the jury selection that they purposely excluded people who expressed some kind of pro-life sentiment. Is that true? On
both sides. They people that were say I just want a woman's choice. Those guys were excluded. And I was a little dismayed for all the pro-lifers that ever have an opportunity to sit on an abortionist trial in the future. You don't have to go in the courtroom and say, I'm pro-life and I can't be unbiased in this case. Listen to the facts. You don't have to exclude yourself right out of the gate. And that happened to two different people, maybe three people. They said, look, I'm pro-life. I think Tiller's guilty. I haven't even heard the facts of the case. And that's the way I'm voting. Well, guess what? You get bounced for cause right out the gate.
Oh, yeah, right. Right.
You know, that's what is so important. Sometimes people don't want to do jury duty, and that's part of our, you know, it's our responsibility as a nation and as a people.
It's a privilege.
It really is.
Yeah, I've been on the jury a couple times.
I did want to ask Troy a question, though. Troy, I know I was reading a little article about Tiller, and they were trying to pretend like he just got little 19 misdemeanors, like they're little minor things. Is it this minor, or are the papers trying to play it down?
Well, it's a subsection of the late-term abortion statute in Kansas, and what he did was provide illegal abortions. He's not treating it like a technicality. He spent over $2 million in legal fees hiring the most expensive attorneys and jury consultants that he can find. What's at stake in this case is not necessarily leg irons. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him being hauled off. But what's really at stake is the nation's largest late-term abortion clinic. He will lose his medical license if he's convicted, and that will essentially close this abortion mill. And that, I'm praying, is going to be a shot in the arm to the pro-life movement.
Troy, if he's convicted, it will indeed shut the place down, or will somebody else step in his shoes and keep going?
Well, he's got 3 other abortionists that fly in, but I'll tell you what, we've done our job, Cherie. Nobody wants to be the next George Tiller, because they don't want Operation Rescue, Troy Newman, all those truth trucks showing up on their lawn. Right. No, we've made him a pariah in the community. People may fly in and do abortions, but they will not have the same hospital privileges and political cover that Tiller has. This is, I believe, and I'm trusting God, that this is an all-or-nothing case for Mr. Tiller.
Is Sebelius there supporting him?
Sebelius threw Tiller under the bus a couple months ago when Obama started inviting her to the White House.
Right. She had to distance herself.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Troy, I know you need to get going because you want to get back to the trial. So thanks for giving us that update. And if anything big, juicy happens, call and let me know.
Okay.